Hello, welcome to my video. I'm going to show you how I came about making this design, which is a prism shaped display stand, because I wanted to design something that could be modular and I could customize it and change the colors using 3D printing. So I started in Fusion 360. As you can see, I wasn't quite sure. I showed you the drawing at the beginning of the video, but I wasn't quite sure how it's going to properly function, so I kind of work that out as I go along. You kind of do a bit of trial and error and you understand what kind of works after a while. So I decided that it was going to have a kind of central chamber that can be a different colour, and there would be a front panel that has like stencil letters cut out of it, and that colour will come through the stencil letters. But what is good about this design is you can insert your own custom message, and it kind of all slots and slides together quite nicely, and I think it looks quite presentable as well. Obviously you can customize your colors if you're into your 3D printing, and it's all individual parts, so you don't need a multicolor printer. So there's this central thing that is an internal prism, and I've got some end caps going on there. You can see I kept playing about with how I would like them to be kind of looking design wise, so that's happening here. On one end I decided to put a knurled brass insert, so I'll be putting that in soon. You'll see the hole that I'm extruding through it, and that's because I just wanted it to kind of look pretty professional and screw together quite nicely and feel sturdy as well. So that's what's happening here. This is the front panel. I was just creating the tolerances to make sure it slid in without too much play, and you can see that there's no message on the front, and that's because it's up to you to put that message on, and I'm going to show you how you can do that without any modeling skills, without any CAD skills. It can all happen within the slicer. So this is where the brass insert goes, and an M3 bolt. So here we are in the slicer. You can select your object, and at the top there's some text. You can kind of emboss text or extrude text, but instead what I did was I selected the object and right clicked, and there's a menu for inserting text within the object, and I downloaded a font that was kind of like a stencil font, because you need it to be a stencil so that the center of the O doesn't fall apart when you try and lift it off the bed. So it's all kind of stenciled. You can download your own font and install it on your computer, and then I had to kind of scale it and position it where you want it to be and change the depth of it. That's how much it will cut into the object that I've placed it on. So I want it to go all the way through so the colour will come through. And when you slice it, just make sure you're happy with the result. I went back in and I put in some mouse ears for some of the sharp edges, and I thought that might help with some of the sharp edges in the text, especially on the internal edges. And then it printed. So I'm just going to demo how this goes together. So you can unscrew from the end there. These M3 bolts and inserts, I kind of find it useful if you have a kind of collection of them, so that you can use them for different projects. So that comes off. The front template slides free, and you can change that for whatever message you want. This is the coloured internal section that adds that little bit of colour. That's the knurled insert. I just set that in with a soldering iron, being careful not to put too much heat into the plastic. And your sign can go in, it slides down. It's quite a thin piece so that you can see the text quite nicely, and this triangular piece has a specific direction, a kind of rotational direction where it needs to sit inside, and that has a little notch that it sits in, and then the threaded bolt goes in and holds it together quite nicely. Now obviously you can come up with your reason for using these. It's completely free. The model's in the description just below the video. Make sure to tag me on social media at Quirkshop, Instagram, TikTok. If you end up printing this, it'll be great to see your models. Thank you very much.